Good morning, everyone, and happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. I actually have nothing really negative or positive to say about this morning. I'm slightly in a rush, so that may be it too. But happy Tuesday. That's all I have to say. Happy Tuesday. If you woke up breathing, blessed, ready to start the day, it's a happy Tuesday for you. So we're going to ride that wave. Hopefully it carries it to the end of the week, because y'all know how I feel about the weekend. All right, so yes, happy Tuesday. Let's get into the goal for today. So the goal for today is to be impartial, okay? Be impartial. And to be impartial pretty much means that you have no bias, okay? You're not partial to one side or the other. You're making fair or just decisions. And this one is a good one, especially when you're talking about your relationships between other people or just your decisions on a day-to-day basis. It doesn't even necessarily have to be with your relationships with other people. I think it comes up a lot because a lot of times when we're talking about ourselves being biased, we're talking about we're biased towards one person or another, or in a situation where there are two parties, like, okay, well, I'm going to be more biased towards them just because of my relationship or, something like that. But when we're making decisions for today and really always, we don't always want to make those impartial decisions, or those biased decisions. We want to make sure that we are being impartial so that we can understand the entire situation clearly. Okay. And then again, this is not just with people. This is with things. I feel like I am one of the most indecisive people that I know. Indecisive person. I'm very indecisive. It's really hard for me to make decisions, especially on the fly like this, because I don't know, I just get anxious. I'm like, wait, what if I chose the wrong thing? So it's very hard for me to make decisions. So especially when I was choosing my house, like I forced myself to only look at 2 houses because I knew that, number one, if I look at too many, my indecisiveness is going to come back into play. Number 2, I had people that were going with me. So like my mom was going with me, my siblings were going with me, and I didn't want a lot of pressure to pick something based off of what they were saying, because then my inkling would have told me to be biased towards them. Instead, I wanted to be impartial in the whole situation, making a fair decision that's going to last me for the rest of my life, because I'm planning on having this house for years and years to come. So that's the same thing. And even though that was kind of a weird scenario, but we can still use it when we're talking about other decisions that we have to make in our lives. We want to make sure that we are looking at the entire situation and not just a portion, or not just something that someone else fed us, or only something that we want to see, because we do that a lot too. We only look at the stuff that we want to see instead of looking at the stuff in the back. Make sure you say one time for the stuff in the back, okay? But we want to make sure that we're looking at the entire picture. That way we can be impartial in our decision-making skills, okay? So we're not just judging things, or we're not just basing our decisions off of what we first see at a glance. I think I told the story one time about Pastor R.A. Vernon of the Word Church, a very big mega church in Cleveland. When he is forced to make a decision, he needs a certain amount of time because he wants to make sure he can pray about it and allow God to speak to him about it, so that he's not making just rash decisions. And that is a very good it's a very good practice to get into. It's just to make sure you're praying about every single decision. Even the small decisions. Y'all know I'm an advocate for prayer. Even the small decisions, you want to make sure that you are bringing it forward to God. And the reason, because we are only looking at what we can see now. But of course, God understands life in totality, like in and out of time. He understands life. So we're looking at things now, making decisions based off of what our bias is, what our judgment is, what we can currently see now. A lot of times they could be unfair decisions too. Really, that's the basis of a bias, is making a decision that's more than likely going to be unfair to one party or another. However, the reason we want to take it to God is because he can see everything, and we are only looking at the now, when he's like, no, sis. Like, even though this was a good decision now, 10 steps down the road, it's going to really be a burden to you. So we definitely want to make sure that we're praying about all of the decisions that we make. And we want to ask God to allow us to be impartial in our decisions. Ask Him to allow us, or ask Him to guide our decisions in our direction of where we need to go, where we need to be. And yeah, that is the goal for today. So hope everyone has a great Tuesday, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.